When I first met my husband, Nathan, I knew he wasn't the type to settle for routine. He thrived on exploring new restaurants, trying quirky hobbies, and finding joy in the smallest adventures. I was the opposite, craving comfort, predictability, and the certainty of a plan tomorrow. Yet love has a strange way of weaving two different souls into something that clicks, and somehow we did. Over the years, Nathan's adventurous spirit had nudged me out of my comfort zone more times than I could count, whether it was hiking a muddy trail or signing us up for a pottery class, despite his questionable artistic skills. Still, when he proposed trying something new, something he'd never done before, I wasn't ready for the journey it would spark. It began on a quiet Sunday afternoon. We were on the back porch of our home in Austin, sipping iced tea while our dog, Charlie, darted after squirrels in the yard. Nathan leaned back in his chair, his eyes carrying that thoughtful glint that always made me wary. I'd seen that look before, right before he suggested we go kayaking on a freezing lake or try ballroom dancing, despite his two left feet. "Emma," he said, his voice calm but lit with that familiar spark, "I've been thinking about something new for us to do together." I raised an eyebrow, bracing myself. "Okay," I said cautiously. "What's on your mind this time? Please don't say bungee jumping." He laughed, shaking his head. "No, nothing like that. This is different. I want us to open ourselves to an experience that could change how we see things, how we live. I want us to volunteer for something big, outside our usual routine." I tilted my head, intrigued. "Volunteer? Like at a soup kitchen?" "Bigger," he said, leaning forward, his eyes bright with excitement. "I read about a program where couples work together to build homes for families who've lost everything. Fires, floods, you name it. They need people who can commit weekends, maybe even a full week later on. It's hard work, but I think we could do it together." I hesitated. My weekends as a graphic designer were sacred. Laundry, errands, catching up on sleep lost during my hectic work week. The idea of hauling lumber and sweating under the Texas sun didn't scream relaxation, but Nathan's eyes burned with passion, with a belief that this could mean something. Despite my instincts to cling to routine, something stirred in me. "All right," I said finally. "If you're this excited about it, I'm in." His face lit up and he squeezed my hand across the table. "You won't regret it, Em. I promise." Our first day on the build site was a wake-up call. The sun was brutal, the air thick with dust and the scent of fresh cut wood. My two big gloves chafed, and my shoulders ached within an hour. But as I looked around, I saw families watching. Mothers, fathers, kids, with hope in their eyes as volunteers hammered and sawed to rebuild their lives. That hope fueled me in a way I hadn't expected. Nathan was in his element, joking with other volunteers, hauling beams like he was born for it, and patiently showing me how to use a drill I'd never touched before. For once, stepping into the unknown didn't feel so daunting. The weeks that followed transformed our weekends. Instead of coffee shop runs or Netflix marathons, we were sweating, laughing, and occasionally bickering over how to measure boards correctly. But every argument led to teamwork, to finding our rhythm. I realized saying yes to Nathan's idea wasn't just about trying something new, it was about growing together, seeing life through a wider lens. We learned each other's strengths. Nathan's knack for rallying the group, my eye for detail in aligning frames. We weren't just building houses, we were building a stronger us. Not every moment was smooth. One scorching Saturday, exhaustion got the better of us. I was dehydrated, frustrated, and ready to throw down my hammer when Nathan suggested a break. I misread his tone as patronizing and snapped, "You always think you know best." His face fell, but instead of firing back, he sat beside me in silence until my anger cooled. Then, taking my hand, he said softly, "Emma, I don't want to fight. We're in this together, right?" His patience reminded me why I loved him, not because we always agreed, but because we always found our way back to each other. That day, we finished laying a foundation, and as we stood back to admire it, Nathan slung an arm around me, whispering, "We're pretty good at this, huh?" I smiled, nodding. We were. By the final weeks of the project,
We'd helped build 5 homes, each one a testament to resilience, ours and the family's. On the last Saturday, we gathered with volunteers and homeowners for the dedication of the final house. The homeowner, a single mother named Lisa, stood before her new home, its bright red door gleaming in the sunlight. As she prepared to step inside, she turned to the crowd, her voice trembling but strong. "After the flood took everything, I thought we'd never have a home again," she said. "You didn't just build walls. You gave my kids a future, a place to dream again." Then, unexpectedly, she walked straight to Nathan and me, pulling us into a tearful embrace. "You two," she said, her voice breaking. "Your laughter, your heart, it carried us through. Thank you." The crowd erupted in applause, and I felt a lump in my throat as Nathan squeezed my hand, his eyes glistening with a rare vulnerability. In that moment, something broke open inside me. It wasn't just about the nails we'd hammered or the walls we'd raised. It was about the hope we'd helped rebuild, the lives we'd touched. Lisa's gratitude was a mirror, reflecting the depth of what we'd accomplished together. As we joined the other volunteers to celebrate, a local pastor who'd been part of the project approached us. "You've started something special. This community is stronger because of you." That evening, back on our porch with Charlie sprawled at our feet, Nathan pulled out a small notebook he'd been carrying to the site, filled with sketches of the houses, names of volunteers, and stories of the families. He said, "I want us to keep this, to remember what we're capable of when we step out of our comfort zones." He handed it to me, and I flipped through pages of his messy handwriting. A doodle of me wielding a hammer, captioned Emma, the reluctant builder, a note about Lisa's kids running through their new home, a list of tools we'd mastered together. I laughed, tears stinging my eyes, and added my own note. To Nathan, who showed me how to say yes to more than I knew I could. That moment marked a turning point. Inspired by Lisa's words and the community's response, we didn't let the project end there. We founded a monthly Build Together group in Austin, inviting other couples to join us in supporting local housing efforts. Our porch became a hub for planning, laughter, and new friendships. Neighbors, coworkers, even strangers drawn to the cause. The local news ran a feature, calling it the Austin Ripple, and letters poured in from nearby towns where others had started their own volunteer circles inspired by our story. One couple wrote that our example had not only helped them build homes, but had saved their struggling marriage by giving them a shared purpose. One Sunday, as we hosted a barbecue for our growing community, I watched Nathan laugh with a group of volunteers, his face alight with that same spark I'd seen months ago. A young couple approached me, sharing how our story had pushed them to volunteer together, deepening their bond. I realized then that Nathan's idea had done more than change our weekends. It had transformed us, our community, and even people we'd never met. A local artist painted a mural on the community center depicting hands linked in a circle, inspired by our work. A nearby school started a Hope Builders Club for teens, and a national magazine reached out to feature our story, calling it a testament to the power of small acts of love. As the sun set, painting the sky in familiar golden streaks, Nathan caught my eye and grinned. "What's next, Em? Cooking class? Salsa dancing?" I laughed, shaking my head. "You'll never stop, will you?" "Not as long as you keep saying yes," he teased. And I would, because I loved him, because every adventure made us stronger, and because I'd learned that saying yes to the unexpected could build more than homes. It could build a life filled with purpose, connection, and love that rippled far beyond our little porch in Austin.